Hello everyone and welcome back to How to Rune. So this time we're talking about the infamous Theomars. As you all know, Theomars is a very powerful attack monster, and let's talk about him. So starting with the early game, either you have been farming guild points on a farming guild, or you don't have a chance on Theomars. So if you have him and if you pulled him, congrats. He's one of the best attackers in the game. So yeah, let's talk how to rune them, how to rune him in your stage of the game. Well, now let's begin with the early game. You should have to focus on the following stats: attack, crit rate, and crit damage. For attack, I would advise 900 attack, around 900 attack. Crit rate, you only need 61% crit rate if you're using Theo as a crit leader, but if you can't reach the 61% crit rate, just go close to 50%, that should be close enough. And for crit damage, around 100% should be doable. But if you can't reach the 100% crit damage, just lower a bit that value, you should be okay. For Rune Sets, I know that you don't have Theomar's best Rune Set yet, because it's violent and you shouldn't be farming dragons by this stage. So if you have Swift runes laying around, you should use them. So Swift Focus, Swift Anything, Swift Broken, all of them can work. Swift will give you a nice edge on speed, so you win speed, and Theomars also, Theomars damage also scales with speed, so it's a win-win situation. You can move faster, and it's ideal. If you don't have the Swift set to put on Theomars, just go Broken set. Energy also is good because it increases Theomars survivability, and it's great. Now for slots 2, 4, and 6, you can do a lot of things. It depends on the runes that you have and on the substats and on the values that you want to reach. So you can go either attack, crit damage, attack, crit rate, attack, speed, attack, speed, crit rate, attack, speed, crit damage, attack. So you get the idea. There are a lot of ways to rune him. The important thing is that you get to those thresholds. Alright, moving on to the mid game. Let's be a bit more selective on the stats that you focus. So attack, the new value for attack is 1.1k. Crit rate minimum is 61%, so below 61% is at this point unacceptable. The more the better, of course. If you want to use Theo without his leader skill, you need to reach 85%, but I can imagine that on this stage it can be complicated, so 61 should be fine by now. And for crit damage, I would advise 130 to 150 crit damage. Now you should consider also speed, and the value that I would advise is at least 150 speed, and you should be able to reach these values by this stage of the game. Now Theo, I already said this, but Theo scales with speed. So if you rune him speed on slot 2, or if you have speed on the substats, it's a win-win situation. You can move more, you can deal more damage, so it's great to have speed on Theomars. Now for slots 2, 4, and 6, you can go speed, crit damage, attack, and if you can reach the speed threshold with your substats on your runes, you can go attack, crit damage, attack. For rune sets, violence is a must. You shouldn't go any other rune set, because violent is way too good. Theomars procs a lot, he can turn the tides of the fight, and you can get a really nice advantage. Now Violent Revenge is okay, Violent Broken can also work, and yeah, with that rune set, Theo is useful almost everywhere. So Giants, Dragons, Necro, all 10, TOA, Arena, Guild Wars, Raid 3 and Raid 4, he can be useful, although not really recommended, but if you don't have any other attacker, you can use him, and he is a really well balanced monster that can be used everywhere and not overpowered as a lot of people say. Now the end game. Let's look again to the stats and reach new values. So for starters, speed should be around 170 to 200. I think that's a sweet spot for Theomars. it all depends on your support units, and if you want your support units to go first or Theo to go first. It all comes down to preference. It's not a rule. If you want them to go after or before, just you need to see what speeds you can get on Theo and on your support units. Now for attack, I would advise at least 1.5k. Of course, the more the better. Crit rate, it's, for me, I like my Theo crit rate 85%. I can put him everywhere, he's gonna crit ever. And I don't need to put a crit leader. I also can use his crit leader to buff the other units, but not Theo. Theo can perform well with 85% crit. And for crit damage, 150 or more, that should be ideal. The more the better. You need to balance crit damage with attack, so if you get a lot of attack and less crit damage, he's gonna do not that much optimal damage. You need to balance those, so 1.5k to attack, 150 crit damage, that's a sweet spot. If you get like 200 attack, 2000 attack and 200 crit damage, he's gonna deal a lot of damage, but I know the stats are really complicated to get, so yeah, just to give you an idea. So you should also consider HP on Theo, because the more HP, the more survivability he has, and I would advise you to have plus 10k, and that will make Theomars a bruiser. If you can't afford it, just build him as a glass cannon. He's gonna do the job well enough, like my Theo is up here, maybe wherever he is. Now for slots 2, 4 and 6, it's only two ways possible, so speed crit damage attack or attack crit damage attack, if you can reach the speed substats like I do. My Theo is on attack crit damage attack because my substats are nice enough to have speed, and I can reach the 170 speed without the speed on slot 2. Now for rune sets, if you want to go Theo on defense and on Guild War defense and PvP in general, Violent Wheel is the way to go. There's no question about it. He's gonna counter a lot of things, and he's gonna survive the first turn, and he can possibly one-shot the enemy unit, and it can turn the tides of the fight. You can also have Theo on Violent Revenge. It's also good to have. He can revenge when the enemy is not counting on it, and yeah, it can serve as an element of surprise, which is always good. There are some other weird builds that I don't really recommend, but some people use it, which is Vampire Revenge. For me personally, I don't like it very much, but some people use it. I just think Violent has a lot to offer instead of Vampire. Alright guys, this is it. I hope I could help you in some way. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. I'll do my best to answer them. Thanks for watching. If you like it, leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.